Hi, I'm Nikki Friedman. Thanks so much for joining me for day 19 of the Wonder Wife Workshop. So, when I think about my own personal relationship with my husband, there's really one tool that has been the most powerful and the most helpful for me personally, especially in moments where things have gotten a bit sticky, shall we say. So, before I tell you what that tool is, let me just give you a moment to take a guess. What do you think it is? And if you think about your own marriage, what would you say is the most powerful tool that you tend to use to help build a loving, harmonious relationship? So, before I tell you what it is, I want to just preface this talk by saying that I have been hesitant to bring this up. Every class I've said, okay, I'm going to talk about it. And each time I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't talk about it. And I'll tell you why. The truth is that the tool that I'm going to speak about tonight, many people are hesitant to hear. And I'm also aware that I'm speaking to a very diverse audience. And some people may already be practicing this tool and it may be very integral to their lives. And for other people, they may right away put up a wall the moment that they hear it. So before I tell you what it is, I'm just going to request that you go in with an open mind, right? Part of this beautiful experience that we're sharing together is we're all working on ourselves. That's why you're here. So being open to hearing something possibly outside of your comfort zone and maybe with the willingness to try something new. So what is the tool, you may be wondering? So it's the power of prayer. Yes, maybe some of you got it. So why prayer, right? Let's take a look at just an example of what prayer would even look like in this situation. And I'm not speaking about praying out of a formal siddur or some sort of a formal prayer book. I'm talking about speaking to God out loud in your own words, a process called hispodadus. So picture the scene. We have a husband and wife. Let's call them Carly and David. And Carly asked David to fill up the pool in their backyard. She noticed that the water level was running low. So she asked him, please turn on the hose and make sure that you turn it off in, say, like an hour so the pool doesn't get too full. Well, I'm sure you can guess where the story is going. 3 hours later, Carly gets a call from her neighbor saying, there's water pouring out of your backyard and flooding the street. Maybe you left your hose on? So sure enough, her husband David did leave on the hose. So Carly's mind starts racing and her heart starts beating and she's having this internal tug of war. She's been listening to these classes by Nikki Friedman about being a wonder wife and giving her husband the benefit of the doubt and speaking to him in a moment where she's calmed down as opposed to rushing at him with this whole, speech of complaints and attacks. The other part of her is like, I am really irritated. I just want to go and attack my husband right now and tell him that he majorly messed up and now I'm embarrassed that our neighbor had to call and our bill is going to be so high for our water bill and how irresponsible he is and how I can't trust him and blah, 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 right? So she's really struggling. And this is where prayer really can become your best friend. When we want to be able to get to a certain place and we are having a hard time getting there. So she turns to God and she says out loud, God, please help me. I want to be connected to my husband. I want to choose connection. Help me calm down. Help me take my ego out of the picture. Help me let go of this. Whatever it is that she needs in that moment, she asks for help and she turns it over to Hashem, to God. So for those of you who are like, I don't know about this, like, first of all, I don't even know if I believe in God and this and that, whatever. So I once heard a beautiful, I think beautiful saying that somebody said, you don't need to believe in God. You just need to believe that you aren't God. So first of all, I do think that, I believe very strongly, and it's part of our Jewish faith, that there is a God and he loves us and he's intimately involved in our lives and he does only what's good for us. Sometimes we don't see why, but he's always taking care of us. But even if you have a hard time hearing that or internalizing that or are resistant to that message, I hope and pray that the people listening to this can at least come to a point where they realize that they are not God. And we've spoken at length about control and really being able to turn to prayer, whether you say God or my higher power or the universe or whatever you want to call it. It's coming to a recognition where I am not in control. There is something greater than me that is running the show here. And I am choosing to let go of control. I'm choosing to surrender it and to ask for help. And from there, real healing can take place. I've seen it so clearly in my own life and in so many other people's lives. And it opens a door for miracles as well. So I would love to hear your own miracle stories or your own experiences with prayer, or even your honest resistance maybe to prayer, and to think about where that's coming from and if there's a way to work through that. So thank you guys so much for listening and for being open to trying something maybe new for some of you, or for those of you who are already practicing prayer to maybe up the ante and take it to a deeper, more connected level.